All right, so this is a continuation of our exponent rules, and we have the power rule, or sometimes they call it the power to power rule. Why? Because there's a power on the outside with a power on the inside. So x squared to the third power. And what you do with that is power to power rule, keep the base, multiply the powers, right? Keep the base, multiply the powers. So if I have x squared to the third power, I'm going to do x squared, and I'm going to times it by 3, and I would get x to the 6th. So I have some examples here. So I'm going to keep the base. I'm going to times 3 times 6, and you should already know that that is 18, so it's 5 to the 18th power. And then I have, for b, I have y to the 8th to the squared power, right? And you're basically doing y to the 8th times y to the 8th. And then this would be your product rule, and that would be y to the 16, because you would add those. But the power to power rule, you're going to take y to the 8th and times 2, and you would still get y to the 16th. Right? Okay? So, next. So this is what I have. Power of a product rule. Well, if they have a coefficient next to it, that 5 on the outside affects what's on the inside. So 3 to the 5th power and x to the 5th power, because they kind of have those 1s, and 1 times 5 is 5. So that's where you would get it from. And then you would take your handy dandy calculator, and I don't know exactly what 3 to the 5th power is off the top of my head. I don't know about you. And I would do 3 x to the y 5, and it would equal 243. Let me do that again. 3 x to the y 5, and I hit equal 243, and then 5th power, right? This one, again, 3 affects each one, so it would be x cubed, y cubed. Okay? And then I have some more examples here. Let me erase the little thing. Okay, so this one. So, again, would be what? S to the 4th, t to the 4th, right? And that's an s. And then 2 to the 3rd, and a to the 3rd. So 2 to the 3rd is, I believe, 8. Yeah. All right. And then that would be that answer. And then we have negative 5 x squared y to the 3rd z. There we go. So negative 5 squared is going to be 25. And then x squared, 2 times 2 would be 4. Y to the 3rd squared would be 3 times 2 would be 6. Sorry about my writing there. And then z times, z squared is exactly what I said, z squared, right? Because that's a little deaky, a little 1, and 1 times 2 is 2, right? So that would be your final answer for that one. And then this one, carry the negative over, and then you have x to the 1st power. Usually doesn't put the 1 there, right? X then to the 5th power would be 5, and y 3rd to the 5th power, it would be 15, because 3 times 5 is 15. Okay. All right. Next, quotient rule. Quotient rule. We're going to do this one real quick. Not going to be too hard. Because the multiplying one, we had to add the exponents, so you do the opposite with the quotient rule. When you're dividing, you subtract the exponents. So this sample up here is x to the 5th divided by x to the 3rd. You keep the base, subtract the exponents. And guess what? That rule is right here. Keep the base, subtract the exponents. So if I had x to the 5th divided by x, I'm technically going to put that 1 there, and then I could do x5 minus 1, and it would be x to the 4th power. Okay? Then I gave some examples again, because I like for you to practice and I have homework for this, or practice homework for the students, but this is to show you the lessons. So the example is x to the 5th divided by x squared for A, and you would keep the base and subtract the numbers, except subtract the exponents, let me be clear, and then you would have x to the 3rd power, right? That's a 2. And then 4 to the 7th divided by 4 to the 3rd. So again, subtract, you would have 4 to the 4th. Now, if they wanted the actual answer for x to the y4, and you would get 256. So either one would be correct. -3 to the 5th power divided by -3 squared. Well, you would have to find out what these numbers are first before you divide or reduce or whatever, so let's do that. I can tell you that if you have a negative base and you have an odd exponent, then the answer is going to be a negative answer. So it would be negative. And then you do 3 to the 5th power, and you get 243. And then -3 squared, so if you have an even number exponent, then that answer will be a positive, and 3 squared is 9. And if I did divide by 9, negative divided by a positive is a negative, and 243 divided by 9 is going to be a negative 27. And you could do that on your calculator too. So that went in evenly, so that was yay us, right? So we have 2x to the 5th y squared divided by xy. 2 divided by 1 is 2. X to the 5th divided by x is going to be x to the 4th. X squared divided by y is just going to be a y. And then that would be your final answer for that one. And then this one, and then this one. So, you know, again, this is being recorded. That means you can stop, pause, take notes, go over it again. Whatever's easier for you, right? But you have the lesson, and now you know how to do it. What's next? I believe we're going to stop this, and then the next lesson will be about the 0 exponent and the negative exponent. So thank you.